On today's top 5, we have some interesting cards going up, a promo that you wouldn't expect, and a surprising vintage card also making the charts in today's top 5. Before we start, I would like to say the cards in today's show have recently increased in price. This doesn't necessarily mean they're good investments. Always do your own research before buying cards and decide for yourself which ones you believe may go up in value. The Pokémon market right now is correcting itself from the massive gains we've seen from the beginning of the year, with many cards decreasing in value. With that said, here's a couple cards that have shown improvements. Our first top 5 card is the Arceus Dialga Palkia GX Tag Team. Collectors are drawn to this card due to its unique design. Tag team cards have become extremely popular over the years, combining fan favorite Pokémon into a single card. This card is no exception, depicting Arceus, Dialga, and Palkia as a statue. Jumping into market movers, what I find interesting about this card is the raw price is down around 25%, starting at around $450 and ending the month at $340. The PSA 9 is also down 12%, starting at $570 and moving all the way down to $500. But the PSA 10 is still holding strong and increasing in value over the last 30 days. Starting in November, the card started at $1,650, going up to $1,830 before dropping to $1,700, and then getting to an all-time high for the last 30 days of $1,850 ending the month. Comparing this to some other highly sought-after Arceus cards, the Arceus V Promo and Arceus V Alt-Art from Brilliant Stars are both down around 30%, while the Arceus V Gold Star is stabilizing at around $275. When I think of a Grail Arceus card, this is one card that comes to mind, so it makes more sense that this card has slowly been increasing, especially compared to the lower cost of this card versus some of the other Alt-Art tag teams reaching $5,000 to $10,000. At number 4, we have Team Aqua's Kyogre EX. The bold villain-themed aesthetic and distinctive Team Aqua styling makes this card extremely sought after. In my opinion, this is one of the best artworks for Kyogre cards. Looking at market movers, the Kyogre started the month at $1,750, selling at a high of $2,150 and then decreasing a little bit to around $2,000 for a 15% gain. Even the PSA 8 has slightly increased, starting at $625 and then going at the end of the month to $675 for an 8% increase. The counterpart of this card, the Team Magma's Groudon EX, is almost flip-flopped, with starting this month at $2,250 and then ending the month at $1,725 for a decrease of 23%. So it's a good time to have the Team Aqua's Kyogre. At number 3, we have our first Japanese card, the Zapdos EX Secret Art Rare from 151. Although not being a tag team, this card shows off the legendary trio Moltres, Zapdos, and Articuno. Zapdos has a strong fan base since Gen 1, and coming from the set 151 has gotten many people back into collecting Pokemon. Zapdos EX started this month with a huge swing, starting at $175 and then dropping all the way down to $110. It stabilized at around $140 to $145 before the last sale skyrocketing at $213 for an increase of 23%. Comparing the Japanese to the English card has seen a decrease of around 18%, starting at $370 and then jumping all the way down to $300. At number 2, we have the Kabutops First Edition from Fossil. Fossil is the third Pokemon set releasing in 1999, and back then, holos were the top chase cards, seeded roughly in 1 in 3 booster packs. Being over 25 years old, this card is hard to find in mint condition, and even harder to find in a PSA 10 with a population of only 232. Looking at the data, the first edition Kabutops has seen growth across the board of higher graded PSA cards. PSA 8s are up around 18%, averaging around $93 at the start and ending at around $110. Even PSA 9s are up just a couple bucks, starting the beginning of the month at $226 and finishing the month at $230. The real winner here though is the coveted PSA 10. The PSA 10 started this month at $1,783 and had a big 26% increase with the most recent sale at $2,250. Now looking at a year track for 365 days, we can see that a lot of these Kabutops cards have also still been increasing with more massive gains at 103% for the first edition PSA 10. Even the PSA 9 has significantly done well at 89%, and the PSA 8 has still done well at 40%, with the PSA 8 starting at around $65 and then ending at around $110. And now for the card that you've been waiting for, the Japanese RCSV promo takes our #1 spot in today's top 5 cards. This card was given out to collectors who purchased the video game Legends Arceus in Japan when the game first came out. The Japanese card varies slightly from the English variant by having the logo Arceus game stamped on the middle left, and in my opinion, adds to the overall design. Jumping into market movers, the Arceus V started at a low of $55 and then fluctuating before stabilizing around $75 to $80. The last sale was extremely high at $129 for an increase of 130%, but that seems like a little bit of an outlier. And honestly, I would value this card more at the $75 to $80 range, bringing the average down to around 49% increase, which still isn't bad compared to what we saw earlier with the Arceus V English promo, decreasing around 30%. And looking at the 365-day graph, it started at around $40 at the end of last year and then going all the way up to where we're at now, to where it's around $80 to $85. Now, I'm not sure what happened here, but we had a massive increase and decrease in the matter of 2 sales, with one being at $220 for the highest that it's sold in the past year by far, and then decreasing all the way back down to $40 the next day. It seems like it's stabilized again around the $80 range, but it's interesting to see that sometimes Pokemon cards will just randomly increase and then decrease again. And that wraps up our top 5 cards for today. The Kabutops definitely surprised me as being definitely an interesting card in the mix of all the cards being more modern. If you guys enjoyed the video, please click the like button and subscribe to PokeHQ. Let me know in the comments what cards you guys are purchasing, and thank you for watching this video. See you in the next one.